Well, good morning, your YouTube, you sexy mamma jammas. Today is now Monday, 24th, February 24th, I believe. We are at the Laredo OC. You can tell we're getting some fuel. We're just going to fill up this one side of the tank and head over to our delivery 2 miles away. The system's showing there's an empty there today. Probably not, but if there's not, I'll come back here, grab an empty, and we'll head to Brownsville, which is about 4 hours away, 3.5 hours away. Shout out to you, KT. KT coming through in the clutch, new member. New member alert. KT, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. I think we're now up to 14, I don't know, 14, 13? I don't know. It looks like he became a member 2 days ago. But YouTube doesn't give me notifications of that stuff, so unless I'm looking on a regular, it might take me a couple of days to notice if any new members come through. But thank you so much, Mr. KT. I really, really appreciate it. I know I always get KT and KC mixed up, but this time it's not mixed up at all. KT, thank you so much for the support. All right, so we're going to head over to, the fuel just popped off. Let's see where we're at. 65 gallons, all right. And fuel here in Laredo at the OC is $3.46 a gallon. So hopefully this should, well, maybe it won't be. I'm hoping, no, I don't know, maybe. Here you are hearing me stutter, not knowing what's going through my brain. I'm hoping I can get to Brownsville up to North Houston today with this much fuel. So anyway, that's it, guys. Let's get this day going and see what the trucking world has in store for us today. And let's hope it's a smooth one. Thanks so much for being here. Let's go. All right, and I suspected they didn't have any empties over there, so I came back over to Laredo. I'm waiting for the exception to pull up, so I do sit the right way instead of my way. My way's kind of dumb. But I'm in front of a trailer. The problem is we can look at everything, but if it's listed in the DVIR or SCM as a defect or a maintenance thing or anything like that, out of service, we don't get that information unless I do this properly. So, I mean, it looks like it's got a December 25 inspection sticker on it. Oh, there's some action happening. I'm so excited. Now, I came back here. All right, and they're bringing me back here anyway, so okay. So let me go in here and close out the Jamco delivery. I have to be able to see the details of the trailer to see if maintenance has it unlocked for whatever reason. Even if I don't see anything wrong, maybe they have a reason. I don't know. I just have to cover my ass. Helps me sleep better at night when I do shit the right way. But it also costs you money when you do shit the right way a lot of times. So, with that said, we do have a 224-mile deadhead, which is about estimated 3 hours and 48 minutes. All right, so now I'm at Schneider. I'm already here, so let me go ahead and put my arrival time as of right this second. Now, I want to look at this empty here. So if I find an empty, I'm looking for 205344 on this list. Once it populates. God, there's so many. And it's not even showing up. It's TA 205344. That's freaked me out. Not even showing. What is this one? That, okay, see, look at that. There's one that's under maintenance. 209. There's another one's under maintenance. Let's try this one. There's another one listed under maintenance. Try this one. Another one listed under maintenance. This is the stuff you got to see. So, try this one. That one's listed under maintenance. Try that one. That one's under maintenance. Try that one. Here's one good condition. 198505. But you know what? That's up in. It's up in the bay. You know what? Let me just drive. Let me maneuver down this fence line here. What is that? 164370. It's not even showing up on the list. 177763. There's one. Listed under maintenance, of course. Okay, with that, 162110. 162111. This one here is 162110. That one down there is 1643. Oh, yeah, I looked for that. It's not even showing up. Move down the line a little bit. All right, so remember that first trailer we was in front of? It wasn't on the list. I called the shop about it because I checked it out. It was empty. Everything, tires looked good and everything. I called the shop about it, and they said, judging by their system, it's good to go. So we wound up connecting to that one, even though, like I said, it wasn't on the list. But I'm waiting, just in case something was missed, I'm waiting for the DVR to come back and see if it says anything. The tablet's a little slow, so let me go ahead and go into Accelerate and see if it shows anything about this trailer currently. Other than that, yeah, it's not even, yeah, all these, man, maintenance, it's not even showing this trailer on that list. I'm waiting for the DVR to come back, and it usually don't take this long, but let's see what happens. All right, we're good to go. DVR came back. We are attaching, we're going over to Genie, and we're about 3 hours and 45 minutes away, so let's get to getting y'all. All right, we are here. We got here at 3 o'clock, and checked in. She said, it's gonna be a while, but you can park over there in dock 5. I said, okay. So I got whipped around, pulled her in the dock here, and now we wait. So how long does going to be a while mean? Because it's 3:30 now. My appointment was 1600. I still think there's something fishy with there. Depending on, I mean, I have 6 hours and 5 minutes left of my drive time, but if I'm here more than an hour, my 14 is going to catch up with me. So, and I ain't going to, trust me, I wasn't going to drive all the way that time anyway, but I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen here. We'll find out together. All right, well, what better time to do this list of questions than while I'm in the dock with no clue of how long I'm going to be here. So while I was in Charlotte getting prepped for getting ready to do my annual recertification, I ran across a guy and said, hey, I watch you on YouTube. So we chatted for a few minutes, and he had some questions about, because he's a company driver, and contemplating whether he wants to go IC or not. And he had some questions. I was like, hey, just send me an send me an email. My email's in every description. Send me an email, and we can chat about things. Because, I had to go off and do my thing. He was doing his thing. So he emailed me later on that night. And he's like, I got a bunch of questions. I'm going to take some time, put them together, and I'll shoot them in an email to you later on. I'm like, all right, well, cool. I'll make a video out of it. So we're going to call this guy Chris. Well, because that's his name. Chris, thank you for the list. And I haven't looked at these questions yet at all. They're all right here. I just opened the email completely. Because he titled it List of Questions. I just favorited it, and I haven't even opened it until just now. So, what he says is, thank you in advance for your Q&A video. I look forward to the answers, and I'm sure many others will as well. I hope you like the list, and I'm excited to hear the results. Chris. All right, Chris, here we go. Question number 1. I heard you mention the fuel bonus in the video. You still have that as an IC? No, we do not. I pay for fuel. Any bonus that I get off fuel is what I save for myself. Now, there is every week as an IC every Wednesday you get a new discount for that week with Schneider. This week happens to be 32 cents. Last week was 37 cents. The week before was about the same. So it's usually anywhere between. I've never seen it any higher than 50 cents off. So like if you go to a pump and this pump says $3.89. We're actually being charged, like this week, 32 cents lower than that. It'll be $3.57 is what I'm paying. Because I pay for fuel, we don't get bonuses from the company. The only way I can get, I guess, a fuel bonus is by buying the cheapest fuel that I can find. Now, I don't always use a Pilot Flying J. I prefer to go to QT, or even a smaller mom-and-pop truck stops that take EFS cards, because most of the time, those smallers or QTs, regular fuel price, is cheaper than the big guys, Pilot Flying J, even after the discount. So the point is buy as cheap as fuel as you can as an IC, so you can basically, in effect, get your bonus. As a company driver, you have a DTL to talk to and message. Who does an IC talk to and message, and how are they different than DTL? We talk on a day-to-day basis. We have what is called a BOR. It's our business owner representative. They speak for us to the back end of Schneider people. Now, her boss is the BOA, our business owner administrator. So if we have a major problem, that's who we deal with. But on the day-to-day, we deal with the BOR. How often do I message and talk to them? Not only if I need something. Pretty much it. Or if they need something from me. But not often, not really. I want to do as short as lease as possible, 12 to 15 months, with an old truck and low payment. If I like doing it after this time, I plan to upgrade at the next lease. My thoughts. I say I'm all about new. You get what you pay for. And even the shortest lease on an older truck that they may have, your weekly payment's going to be just as much as a new truck. You have your new truck payment might even be cheaper. There's instances of that. So skip the used part, just go new. Do you use the Schneider fuel card? Yes, I do. Now, you can get fuel anywhere you want, but here's the thing with anytime you get fuel without using the Schneider fuel card, you have to make sure you save that receipt and log everything and send it off. And you have to collect all that for the month. And then at the end of the month, you got to send it off to Schneider people so they can calculate your IFTA. You have to pay your IFTA taxes. But if you use the EFS card, then they have it automatically. Now, there are some programs out there where you can get bigger discounts, Mudflap and EPS, or there's a few of them. So if you chose to go that route, you could. How do you find empties? Same way you do. Find my trailer. But after a while, when you start running areas enough, you'll kind of know in your head, hey, there's empties over here, even though there's none here. You won't put an exception. You just go grab one of those empties and finish out the task like nothing ever happened. It's all about saving you time and getting you down the road quicker. Company drivers cannot have pets in cab. Can I seize? It's your truck. It's your truck. Yes. Company drivers have to have insurance for riders. Can I seize? Yes, we have to pay insurance as well. Insurance, registration, taxes, paperwork, tolls, tags, etc. Does Schneider SFI handle the setup for all that stuff? They handle the setup. Yes, you just pay weekly on everything except for the tolls and IFTA. That comes out monthly. So like right now, we just got a message this morning. It usually comes out the third payday of every month. But I guess what they had there, they took our yearly administration fee last month. They didn't want to pound us up with fees. So all of our tolls and IFTA state tax, or fuel taxes, are coming out on Friday the 28th, but the February 28th. But those charges are from January. So you're always a month behind. What are the reasons they can terminate your lease? Operating a phone, talking on the phone while operating your vehicle. Speeding too much, get in an accident, break the rules. Same reasons they can fire you. You just got to follow the rules. Okay, hang on, I see. Lease. Lease is through SFI, got you. What are the reasons they can terminate your lease on SFI end? Now, don't pay the bill. I mean, if you don't make enough money, you get too far of a deficit, and you can't work something out, they'll take your truck back. So your lease is canceled, but then you're responsible for the extra $6,000 and all this other money. Now, what are the reasons they can terminate your IC contract? What I said first, breaking the rules. Can you get out of your lease, and what are the consequences? You can get out of the lease, but you're going to pay like a $6,000 fee charge. But depending on how long you've had your lease, your truck, like right now, if I decide to go turn this truck in right now or tomorrow, I've got enough in my MMA that would cover any charges I would incur. So they might even owe me money back, to be honest. Being late or failing a load, what are the consequences, and is there any difference to the company between, for instance, a blown tire versus didn't feel like driving today? Well, being late's late, but if you're going to be late and you know this, let them know as soon as possible. They can have a reason so they can contact customer service, so customer service can contact the customer. Now, on overnights, it's going to be hard to do, but during the daytime, just communicate it. If you have mechanical problems, then it's beyond your control. But if you're sick and all of a sudden, I mean, I've had that for once. I was in like a rest area for 3 days somewhere in Missouri, I think. I didn't respond to nobody. That she had my BOA. She had the freaking rest area attendant come out and knock on my door. Said the next step would have been the police because I didn't message. I didn't communicate. I was sick as shit, but I didn't communicate. So communicate. Guaranteed versus all-in. It is not well explained how they actually work. Can you explain, and what are the pluses and minuses of each? Well, one, there is nothing called a guaranteed. It's called the percentage board. What that percentage board is you guarantee, well, I guess, okay. On the percentage boards, you are going to get 65% of what that load pays. Question is, 65% of what? You don't get the Raycon showing how much that bill is paid to begin with. You're just taking their word for it. Now, and you also get fuel surcharge. The all-in rate, the number you see is what you get. There's no math, nothing involved. Sometimes it's higher than 65%, sometimes it's lower than 65%. You just never know. It depends on a couple things from the way it was explained to me from my BOR of how it was billed to them on the back end. So there's no guarantee either way, even though the percentage board is explained to you, you get 65% of the load, plus fuel surcharge. I said something about don't look at the price per mile. Look at this other thing instead when picking up loads. Explain. If you get stuck on the mentality to where you're not going to touch a load for less than $2 a mile, you're not going to move. Figure out what it is you need to make weekly, okay? Let's say you want to take home, or you have to take home $2,000 a week just to live. And if that's the case, you're living too damn princey. You're living royalty. But if you have to take home $2,000 a week, you better gross $5,500, because 35 of that's going to come out in expenses. Because if you're grossing that much or pulling out that much, you're doing a lot of miles, which means you're going to use a lot of fuel. So look at what your weekly take-home goal is. figure out what your take home is, do the math of how much you need to gross, and then that number is going to be your weekly number. Do what you can to daisy chain those loads together to get to that number. Sometimes you have to work harder, or maybe work longer days, or drive longer on the day you want to, but only you're going to push yourself as hard as you need to be pushed. Nobody else can do it for you. You have the load board. There may not be loads around. A lot of times you can't be scared of deadhead. Because you may book a load that says $1.90 loaded miles, but by the time you do a 300-mile deadhead, that load is now worth $1.60 a mile, right? So don't worry about RPM. Look at your collective total for a week and go off that. Because you're on the Schneider board. You can't choose any loads off any other board except the Schneider board. So these so-called, these cheaper rates or whatever, there's no negotiation tactics. You cannot. The price is what it is. You either accept it or you don't. Now, if you're on the spot market, it's a different story. But right here, you can only use this board. That's it. Is the load board fast-paced? Like, do loads only appear for a minute and then they disappear because they get grabbed? A lot of times. There's a lot of loads in different areas depending on where you're at. A lot of loads, people work these areas on a regular basis. They know about when these loads are going to pop up. They even got people home waiting on them during certain times because they want this specific load. So yeah, unless there's a lot of time, when you're driving down the road, you can't look at the load board. So you got to be lucky when you park, so you can find something. Try to go 2 or 3 days out. Some people go a full week out. It just, loads go quick. People know them. When you are booking loads, do you find that you have to book the load, then run the load, repeat, or are you able to book multiple loads and then run? You can do multiple. Well, I mean, you can't do multiple at the same time, obviously, because you got that one trailer on you at a time. But yeah, you can book multiple loads. Like I said, daisy chain them. Once this one drops off, let's say like this one drops off tomorrow at 4 o'clock. If I get there around 4 o'clock, I should be there earlier. I have enough time in the day to have another one scheduled for that day. Vice versa. You can schedule follow-ups all you want, well, as long as your hours allow for it. Do Schneider OCs do your repairs and maintenance? I spoke to a guy that's been running under Schneider authority since 03, and he says Schneider will not touch his truck. Is that because of its age or because he don't repair anyone else's truck? That is because he's an owner-operator, not a lease driver. Now, every time I've gotten work done with this truck, I've had it done in an OC. Every PM I've done on this truck is done in an OC. A windshield replacement twice, done in an OC. When I first got the truck, I had a high and low rail pressure issue in the engine. It was done in Indianapolis. Now, Charlotte won't do IC work. I know Indianapolis will, Wilmer will, West Memphis will. I even had my windshield done at Carlisle once. So, yeah, some OCs will, some won't because they just can't. If they can't, it's just because they can't at that point in time. So, but you got to call them and try to schedule, talk them, figure out which ones that'll work with you. Never had a problem out of West Memphis, Indianapolis, or Wilmer. 90-day inspection OC. What do they do? How long does it take? And what happens when they find something? Well, they got a list they go by. It's the same DOT inspection. It's the DOT FMCSA inspection. The Schneider wants to make sure the truck is up in top tip condition every 90 days. It takes about an hour. And if they find something wrong, you just address it then. If it can be addressed. If it's something major, you have to get it fixed before you can pass. And Schneider pays for it, by the way. You don't have to worry about paying for it as an IC. Even if you go to like a truck stop or a TA or somewhere, just say, hey, I need a Schneider 90-day DOT inspection. They'll know what to do. They'll charge Schneider, and you're good to go. If you had an awful year of earnings, what's the least you think you might net? That's a relative thing. That's the numbers determine how much you work and how much you can get. Now, net and all that stuff, that's a personal thing that varies for everybody, so I can't give a solid answer on that. And I've said that about numbers always. I can't give you a solid answer about numbers because it's all different for everybody else. How often do your oil changes, and where do you do them? Well, I just said it. My PMs, I usually do it at OCs. I like the 30,000 mile window. I'm at 35,000 miles over since my last one right now, 34,000. And I plan to do it tomorrow when I'm in Wilmer at the OC, because they've done my last 2. So might as well see if they can do it tomorrow as well in there as well. This time I'm going to get my tires rotated. I'm going to get my fuel filters all changed out and all the normal stuff too. That's all I need. I'm going to talk to them about my tire rotation, see what they feel about my steers, right? Switching sides. I'm going to see how they feel about that. The permit books of the company trucks are always handled by the OCs. Yes. Take your permit. If you have any questions at all about your permit book, take it inside to the OC. They'll make sure it's all up to date for you and you're good to go. I can't park my tractor at my condo. Am I still allowed to park my tractor at Schneider drop lots and OCs? Some. Not all drop lots will allow you, but OCs, yes, you can call those home for sure. Would you or can you make a video showing you going through the whole process of booking on the load board and successfully booking a load by the end? No more, I can't. I do have a couple of videos in the past where I have showed the load board, but it was suggested that I not do that again, so I won't. But they're there. I can't tell you where they're at. You have to go back on a marathon and try to find a video. But if I can remember or go back and look if the title gives something away, then I will. I'll just copy a link and email it to you. When you're at the OC, can you still drive into the fuel islands and fill up tens of gallons of washer fluid for free, and get free load straps from the barrels? And yes, you have full access to all amenities at OCs except for using the company car. Can't use the company car. So weird. Apparently, I was told a reason an IC took that company car one time and drove it home 5 states away and came back a week later. So one IC ruined it for everybody. But I don't know how true that is. How do you use your maintenance account? Well, anytime I have something done at an OC is the easiest way because they just take it right out of my MMA. But if I go to a Love's or somewhere else, I got to make a phone call to SFI Maintenance, and then they give the people a code, and voila, Bob's your uncle. Do you still have access to Schneider benefits like health insurance and 401k? No, but they do have a partnership with a company where you can purchase your own health insurance. I got them at first. I paid for them $300 a month for a couple months, and then after 3 times trying to use them and where I live, and nobody accepted them, I canceled them. Are you assigned to an individual or team? Who is like a DTL, and what if you get along with that person? One of these. Hey, yeah, it's it. I went through this. My initial BOR was a lady. My first phone call with her, I knew I didn't like her. I just did not like her. Just didn't. Didn't like her tone, didn't like her attitude, did not like her. After a couple more phone conversations, I was like, this is enough. I contacted the BOA, the boss of that team. I told her, and I got the other one. She's great. So, if you have a problem, again, it's all going to come down to the people you're speaking with and how you speak to them. But yeah, the change was good for me. And it can be done for you. It just depends. How do you get that extra add-on money? Stuff like detention pay or other types of extras, and who do you get it from? And do they pay the miles to go get empties? You do get out of route driving pay. If they have you go 80 miles, it's like $25 or something like that, $50 or whatever. You get $25 trailer move. Let's say you got to move a trailer out of a dock just so you can back in your trailer. You get $25 for that. And anytime like detention time, like my BOR, she keeps track because I log my stuff as when you're out here. I log my stuff. Once I get in the dock, I put it on duty loading, and then after it registers, I immediately go off duty because I got to set my clock, right? And then when I'm done being loaded, I go back on duty load and I finish that stuff and I go off. So that time right there lets them know that's how long I'm there at the facility in the dock. And my BOA or BOR is good to keep track of that stuff. So I usually ain't even got to mention it to her. She automatically adds the detention pay on for me. Not everybody will do that, though. I've heard mention of extra insurance, buybacks, and deductibles. Can you expand on the meaning of each? No, I can't. I just know I pay for everything they offered in orientation. I had a brand new truck and I wanted everything covered. I don't know what these buyback things are. I pay for like 2 or 3 of them, like $3 or $4 a piece. I really don't know what they are. Maybe look at the comments for the answer to this. Maybe someone can tell you. I honestly do not know. I just pay for it every week. When you first started, what things caught you off guard or surprised you or snuck up on you that you were not aware of when you signed on? I don't think anything. I mean, you got to learn the load board. You got to learn how to run yourself. You got to learn to look ahead. Other than that, just learning the load board, the ins and outs, where to go, how to quickly look for loads and search and be specific and so forth. Other than that, no. I think I was with Schneider for a year and 3 months as a company driver. I felt like that prepared me well enough to do this. And for me, my previous 24 years before coming out here, I was doing the same shit, but I was driving a taxi, right? So I was choosing my own loads. I was paying a lease. I was paying for fuel. I was paying for my own taxes, paying for insurance. I was doing everything that I'm doing now, but in my taxi versus a big truck. And in my taxi, I was just going across county. In my truck, I'm going across country. Just a bigger scale than what I've done for the past 25 years. So, orientation and training. What did you do there? Where did you do it, and how long was it? I went to Green Bay, and I was only there for 3 days. And if you transfer from company driver to an IC, you'll only be there for 3 days because those other 2 days are teaching all the new people coming into Schneider how to use a tablet. So the orientation you went through as a company driver, pretty much same thing here. They'll just, once you go get your truck, they'll take you for a little ride. You'll have to show you can drive and all that crap, and come back and do paperwork. You'll watch a couple videos on the load board, and then come Wednesday, you can leave because you know how to work the tablet. You ain't got to worry about that. Do they give you a mentor or a number you can call to speak to IC experts the way the company? No, you don't need that. That's a joke anyway. So, no. Critical events on the tablet. Do they happen the same as company driver? And what are the consequences of getting them? They do happen the same way as a company. And the consequences, you get a phone call. They'll talk about it. They'll look at the video of what happened. And I haven't had any too severe yet to where I know any consequences. But I would imagine it's a safety thing. So if you prove to be unsafe, they'll just get rid of you. If getting a used truck, can you bring a mechanic with you to help you pick the... Well, no, because you don't get to pick the truck. That truck's assigned to you when you get there. So, yeah, once you sign that contract saying, hey, I'm coming, that truck's waiting on you. You can't just go around the lot and pick which one you want. That's just not how they do it. That's the down part about SFI. You can't look at the truck before you get there and purchase it. Do you need to hire an accountant to do taxes? And since this is your own business, do you make quarterly estimated payments? Yes. To both of those questions. There's a penalty if you don't do it quarterly. There's a penalty if you try to do it yearly. 3% more. Do you have to name your business and make it an LLC like you would with it? You don't have to have an LLC, but it's more protection for you. Limited liability company. Means you can only sue me for so much. I find that way stations and police leave Schneider drivers alone most of the time. Does that Schneider privilege seem to transfer to ICs? With DriveWise, you don't get DriveWise as an IC. You don't get the benefits of bypass and pull in DriveWise notifications on your tablet like you do as a company driver. As an IC, you have the option to purchase DriveWise, and I purchased DriveWise, but as I'm with Schneider, it's a 50% discount monthly. So I pay $7.50 a month, $7.50 a month to have DriveWise. So I got my personal DriveWise on my tablet. But all the good stuff, all the bad stuff that I don't have on my tablet, like the warning, crowd, curve ahead, whatever, all that crap I don't want to see, I got turned off on my tablet. That's the kind of drive-wise crap we have on the freaking tablet here. Is just stuff they think they want to tell you about curves and, hey, watch out, post speed limit 60, you're going 70. Shut up. That's crap that I don't want to see, but they won't give us the benefits of drive-wise, but they give us all the headaches that we don't want to see. But I will say, I don't get pulled in a lot. I don't. And a lot of times when it says to pull in unless closed, then things closed. But I'd say 80% of the time I get bypassed. Do you still have access to Schneider emergency maintenance and tire banks? Yes. Now, that's because of trailer equipment. Now, if it comes to my truck, then I can call them and they can maybe guide me. But when it comes to my truck stuff, it's all on me. Sometimes shippers or receivers want your tractor number. Do Schneider Lease trucks have those, or are they on the tractor like a company truck? They are on the tractor like a company truck at the same spot, and Schneider names them or numbers them. What does it cost per mile for your truck, and what brand and year is your truck? I have a 2024 Freightliner Cascadia. I got it with 43 miles on it, and now has 111,289 in just over a year. A little lower than some of my buddies, but I digress. Cost per mile last month in December was $1.14 a mile, $1.19 a mile. Cost for the year was $1.46 a mile. And you know, when it's cooler months, no longer running the engine, burning fuel, so summertime was hot. About $1.14 a mile in the winter, $1.50, probably $1.40 in the summer. What happens if they give you a trailer that is overweight? When you take it back, maybe they said they will reconfigure, or maybe they said they will have to leave it and come back. Do you get compensated for whatever happens in those cases? Yes. Depending on what happens, you do get compensated. Now, if you're overweight to begin with, a rework ain't going to do shit. They got to take something off. And you get detention time for all that stuff. If it becomes apparent you are going to be late for whatever reason, is there somebody that you can call and tell that they attempt to adjust the delivery time? Yeah, like we talked about earlier. Once you know, communicate that shit immediately. Call your BR and they'll deal with it. No, do you use other load boards than Schneider? No, Schneider only. Is the lumper process different than it is for a company driver? No, you call the lumper line and they'll give you your code. And we don't pay the lumper fee. It's all part of that trip. How long does the whole process take before you are officially in your truck and getting your first load? Hell, if you called SFI on a Monday and you said you want a truck, you can be the next Monday, you can be in orientation. And by Wednesday or so, since you're transferring from company to IC, Wednesday you can book your first load. Do you have an individual contact at SFI who we should talk to if we want to inquire about the program? And is there a way you can get a referral bonus? Yeah, I don't ever push referrals or mention anything, but I do have it in my description. If anybody ever wants to use me as a referral at SFI, contact my rep and she can answer all your questions. It's all in the description. My SFI location will be in Charlotte. Was that yours? And what might be a good to know about the Charlotte SFI? Well, I never met her at all. I talked to her. I filled out an application online, and that's just the person that happened to call me. I know I wanted a brand new truck at the time. There were no brand new trucks in Charlotte then, so that's why I went to Green Bay. And also I went to Green Bay because it was like sort of full circle for me. Because that's where I did my training as a company driver when I came in Green Bay. So I felt like it'd be like a good full circle to go back up there and see my instructors going through the next step in my career. And I thought it would be a cool thing, and it was. And they enjoyed seeing me at that level, and it was cool seeing them again. So, I mean, you gotta think about it's like SFI, or the only time you're going to deal with them is if you missed a payment. It's not like we're going to talk after you pay them the down payment and you get your keys. Honestly, you'll never talk to them again unless you miss a payment, unless you don't make enough money for the payment. This is so. It's a bank. That's all they are, is a bank. Can I use the truck however I want? For instance, to tow a tiny house or use it as an RV on weekends? No, you are operating under Schneider DOT numbers and policies. You'll get your own numbers if you want to do all that stuff. What are accessorials? We mentioned it earlier. Detention, layover. That's about all we get here. Can you use your truck for personal conveyance? For example, could you use it for something going to go? Yes. Yes, we can. PC is good here at Schneider. As long as you're not under a load. Which do you think is more popular, percentage or all in? All in, because you know what you're getting. There's no question. Do you deal with CAT scale payments through Schneider, or do you set it up on your own? You got to set it up on your own credit card. Yep. You get the same CAT. Your EFS card won't even work. Do you think that percentage people are and all in people see the same loads, and are they displayed differently depending on the account, or do you think they have two different? Some loads don't go to all in board. Some loads don't go to percentage board, and I was told the reason why is it depends on how they're building the back end, and we don't know that stuff. But I do have. I know a couple buddies on the board, and I got one still currently on the percentage board. I'm on the all in board, and we compare shit all the time, and the rates. They're not much different. Not enough to make it a definite decision on which one's better. Sometimes they'll see loads I don't see. Sometimes they'll see loads he don't see. But when we see the same loads, I'm telling you, the rates are, they're there. They're like right there next to each other. So there's no point. There's no, yeah. I mean, granted, you might see sometimes that has a big difference. But some people just feel better knowing that they're getting 65%. Do you submit your BOLs on your tablet like the company driver? Yes, we do. Take a picture. Thing I use most on my company tablet are trip planner, Teams, navigation, workflow, hours of service, and DVR. Everything you have on your company tablet's on the IC tablet. But I don't use none of that stuff. Well, let me rephrase that. Yeah, but you use DVR like it's an elected app. DVR is required, so workflow is required. Hours of service, that's a required thing. Trip planner, I've never touched Schneider's trip planner app, not once. I don't know what that Teams thing is, but I don't use it either. Can you think of any other differences between IC and company? There's only one that matters, and that's you choose your own loads. You go where you want, when you want. What things didn't I ask you which you asked somebody before I started? I didn't ask half of these questions. Again, I'm a more simpler kind of fella. I go all in. Once I make a decision, I'm all in. I'm going in head first. That's just me, 100%. I can't think of anything right now, someone that I asked before I did this, other than what you mentioned already. What things didn't I ask? Oh, what is the one thing you miss about being a company driver? Nothing. Nothing at all. Same support I need. The communication was bad on IC and company side, so that doesn't change. What's up? No, nothing. I go where I want. Country music makes my skin crawl. Would you be willing to change your name to heavy metal? No. But now, country is not because of country music, even though I'm a country boy. That's an old gaming nickname for me. He sent me a message. I saw an email earlier today. Said he had another question. Is that it? Yeah, this is Chris. Said, hey, I thought of another question to add to the list. If you're an IC, does Schneider monitor where you are parking? Like, can you park on the side of the highway or an on-ramp or an off-ramp, or the same rules apply as a company? Same rules apply. You're hauling their equipment. You cannot be on the side of the road unless you're emergency or pulled over or broke down. You cannot park on a ramp, on or off-ramp. You must park in a safe, legal spot, truck stop, rest area, etc. So the same rules apply when it comes to those parking. That took 35 minutes to do all those questions. Hey, thanks for the list, Chris. I appreciate it. And I think this will help a lot of people, too, who might be interested in going this process and so forth. So, there you go. We haven't been touched yet. We're still in the dock. They haven't even started loading me yet. And it's now 4:30. All right. That was good. I like that. Long video, but you know what? A lot of information. Yeah, guess what? I'm still in the dock. It's 6:31. I haven't felt them in my trailer for at least an hour. So I don't know what's going to go on here, how long I'm going to be here. I've got 4 hours left of my 14. Once the Loves is 13 miles away, shows full, I'm probably going to wind up sleeping here tonight. Head out in the morning. And hopefully be able to travel the 540 miles it takes to get to Dallas to delivery before payroll cutoff tomorrow. Otherwise, it's going to be one crappity dappity week because of this. So I'm going to go ahead and close the video now. It's already long enough with that Q&A in there. Thanks for watching. Appreciate all the support. Once again, KT, thank you so much for becoming a member. And if you would like to become a member as well, there's two tiers, a $2.99 tier, $2.99 a month for the supporter tier, and $4.99 a month for the encourager tier. While I'm thinking about it, let's see. Make sure I said that correctly. KT chose the encourager tier. Thank you so much, buddy. I'm trying to find levels right here. Yeah, $2.99 for supporter, $4.99 encourager a month. So if you think I'm worth $3 a month or $5 a month, I'd much appreciate it. Link is in the description. It says click here to become a member. Other than that, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. And this ain't good. I've added another Genie Corporation in Brownsville, Texas is now on my never list. Have a good night, y'all. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.